Hello, 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 and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your meteorologist for the evening, Cloud Hudson, and I will be bringing you all of tonight's top weather stories, as well as a little vibe update, a little channeled vibe update. I also want to know how you're doing. So if you're in chat right now, please let me know how your day was. If you live in South Coastal Florida, please let me know how you're doing. I hope that you're all right. One of my regular viewers does live down there, so I hope that they are able to be here. Hey, Kaylee, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here. Yeah, I hope today was a lot better for you than yesterday was. Today was really awesome for me. I woke up. I am so happy you're here too. I'm so happy to be here as well. I woke up without work, and then I got called into work, and it turned out that I was doing lights for somebody named Lee Harris. Have you heard of him? He's a channeler and energy guy who sings and does music as well. But it was an amazingly aligned day where I got to I'd never heard of his work, but got to see him, not only see him channel and do this live talk, but I got to meet him. And yeah, it was awesome. He shouted me out on stage and said I did a good job. So it was really cool. I love when work goes well. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. Okay, so let's get into, I'm gonna definitely look up his work now. I had never done a channeled writing before, but he guided everybody through doing their first channeled writing, and I did one, and it was awesome. With the weather update. That's my little me update. It is also the full moon. You work with autistic kids, and today's session was pretty good. He kept running away. It is a full moon, so people who are a little bit more free, such as people who get labeled as having different mental states, tend to be a little bit more able to feel the moon pulling them in different directions. Also makes it really hard for us who are tasked with your job is make sure they don't do what their body wants them to do. But I'm sure you're really good at working with kids and letting them have their autonomy while, doing what everybody needs them to do to be safe. Okay. Oh, I forgot to pull up my volcano tab. Here we go. Let's see if there were any volcano updates. Oh, they're so smart. Kids also, especially not just autistic kids, but I mean, autistic kids are labeled that way because they maintain their autonomy for so long. I am very convinced. But kids, oh man, kids are fucking brilliant. Hey, I would be just talking to myself if you weren't here. So thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that you're participating. I'm glad you're being yourself out there in the world. Like kids have somebody who can appreciate good vibes like you in their life. Okay. Let's see if there was any. Ooh, we got an update from Kamchatka. That is the one on the peninsula over here. This Shivaluk, Besmiani, Karinsky or / Kamchatka, that has a possible eruption observed. That's exciting. I haven't seen much news out of there in a minute, but we also keep seeing earthquakes there. Intense explosion at Lewitobi from Locky Locky. We saw that picture yesterday, I think. Mount Ibu continues to explode. Sumeru and Dukono continue to have their volcanic ash emissions, as do Fuego, Sangai, and Reventador, and Sabancaya had unable to detect, so might be quieting down there. Oh, it's a new volcanic ash emission in Ecuador from Reventador, excuse me. Let's see, anything in the 21? Possible volcanic ash emission at Reventador, light volcanic ash emission at Fuego, and everybody else continues to explode. Good. Everyone else is exploding. It's fine. Okay, let's go to. I wish I didn't have ads right now, but oh well. Let's go to our earthquakes. I also hope Jenny is okay. Jenny, if you're out there, if you're watching this episode back, we hope that you're good. I don't know where she is tonight, but hopefully safe. Looks like Alberto didn't do as much damage as it could have, but it still was a pretty bad storm. So I hope that she's okay. We had a 2.4 over here in East Tennessee. That's near Knoxville or Johnson City. Which one is that? Rutledge, Tennessee. There we go. Okay, right near Cherokee Lake and the Clinch Mountain Ridge. Actually, right next to Rutledge Recreational Park. So if you know where Rutledge, Tennessee is, that had an earthquake today. That's exciting. It's always exciting when we get East Coast earthquakes. More and more earthquakes coming out of Oklahoma. Seems they're drilling or whatever kind of energy disruptions they do over there are working well. We had a 1.8 down. Oh, excuse me. Let me get some water. Had a 1.8 down here in South Texas, probably near San Antonio. Looks like a couple actually, and then quite a few in our West Texas stack going all the way into Central Texas. That included multiple twos. We had 2.1 on the border of Colorado, New Mexico. New Mexico is still dealing with a lot of flooding. There's basically, long story short, Alberto is just feeding moisture into the desert here right after they had all those wildfires start. So expect more of the same of what we saw yesterday at that burn scar in New Mexico. 2 new quakes out of Yellowstone, a 0.5 and a 1.8. Those aren't very shallow though, nothing to get too excited about. Seeing a lot of quakes in Nevada recently. I still haven't Googled whether you say it Nevada or Nevada, but I know people get very upset about it. Yeah, seems like there's quite a big cluster of quakes right next to that Nellis Air Force Base. There's also this 2.5 up here at Mina, Nevada. That's really in the middle of nowhere in the Monte Cristo range. Just kind of smack dab in the middle of nowhere out in Nevada. Then we got like not even close to any nature preserves or anything. Very weird. Then a few down here closer to Las Vegas. A lot of earthquakes in Southern California. No shit. But like specifically, a 2.8 happened right in the middle of LA today. And also right around, I mean, yeah, that's right in the middle of actually San Bernardino National Forest It was at the Cajon Wash, at Cajon Canyon. Was that like right in the middle of the LA basin? This south of it getting a ton of quakes as well. Northern California also getting in on the action. Man, the Northern California stack. Whoa, look how far that goes. That's got to be like 20 or 30 quakes. Holy shit. Those are all coming from the geysers. I don't even have to click on it to know that's going to be the geysers, California. But I will. Yep, I clicked on it because I just gotta. Again, the geysers is something important, and I don't know what the fuck is going on out there. It's near Big Sulphur Creek, near Boggs Mountain Demonstration State Forest, whatever the heck that means. Just south of Clear Lake, but north of the Russian River. Yeah, that's wild. That is a lot of quaking out there. I wonder what's going on out there. In the geysers. And we also had a 1.7 off the coast of NorCal, and another cluster. More quakes popping up in Washington specifically, not even just Washington and Oregon, but on the Washington side. Have you ever been to the geysers? Do you know what it's like out there? Kaylee, I don't know. Let me click on that so I can see you talking. Oh, there we go. Are those people still stuck? I don't know if people are still stuck in New Mexico. I haven't seen an update that they were rescued. I haven't felt one. That's wild. I wonder if there's actually geysers out there. I bet it would be pretty if you could see that. I'm sure Dutch has talked about that before. He's always mentioning the geysers because there's always quakes there. Let's see. We get some moderately deep quakes out here in Alaska. These quakes are getting down there. They're getting down to like 111 kilometers depth, all the way to surface level depth. And they're staying in the 0 to 2.5 range. There's a 2.8 here, 41 kilometers depth. Really a lot of energy coming into Alaska, but damn, I mean, that stack at the geysers is just so impressive. I can believe it. I'm just flabbergasted. Like, wow, they had more quakes there today than Hawaii, but Hawaii still had enough quakes to be considered a hot spot. It's got a healthy amount of earthquakes today, all the way from the shallow range down to about 30 kilometers. We also had, this is today's, we had another 4.6 and 4.0 out here on the Aleutian Island chain as you're getting close to the Kamchatka Peninsula. Then on the, I wanted to call these the Brillo Islands. I don't remember what, the name escapes me for some reason. I've referred to this off the top of my head for so many times. I don't remember why. I can't remember the name of these islands, but these islands, we got 4.7 and 4.5. The Kuril Islands, that's it. The Kuril Islands, 4.7 and 4.5 at 45 kilometers depth. Then down near Japan, a 4.7 and 4.3. These are also around 47, 45 kilometers down. Again, pretty weirdly quiet Philippine. Refresh and make sure I'm not missing any. But pretty quiet Ring of Fire region right now. 4.7 and a 4.5 in Indonesia. Those are at 10 kilometers depth, our favorite depth. 5.0 in Papua New Guinea at 75 kilometers depth. We got a 4.1 in Papua New Guinea at, oh, that one disappeared. Maybe that was a lie. Let me turn my quake rings back on. We've also got, a shallow and a deep together, a shallow deep sandwich in the Tonga Islands. We got a 4.8 at 365 kilometers down, and a 5.0 down at the surface. So remember, when we see that dumbbell of depth, that means something. What does it mean? I don't know. I'm sure somebody else will tell you, but we definitely see that happen a lot I think it's when energy is coming to the surface from down below. Had a 4.6 right next to it. That was 539 kilometers depth, as well as a 5.0 at 245 and a 4.4 at 106. Then we had another Antarctic peninsula, or Antarctic plate crust edge, then close, and they were all at the surface. Now we go up here on the border of Kyrgyzstan and Xinjiang, China. That's 4.9 at 10 kilometers depth. We also have a 4.7 at 10 kilometers depth here. Then a 3.7 at 5 kilometers depth. And to top it all off, we got our Greek cluster, spanning a little bit further into the Turkey region, but still, I think, in the Greece part of the sea. Looking at 2.7s. Yeah, a lot of lower level quaking, but a handful of over 2. Looking to be pretty shallow as well. Oh, and let's not forget South America and Mexico and the Caribbean. We had 4.2 at 103 kilometers depth here in Chile, northern Chile. We had 4.2 at 107, 4.4 at 163 kilometers depth. Those three are all three of those? No, the 4.4 at 163 was in northern Argentina, and the 4.2s were in Chile. And then this 4.3 at 47 kilometers depth was in central Chile, around the area where they just saw a lot of flooding. Then Mexico is also getting, actually, off the coast of Nicaragua and Honduras, we've got 4.1. We've got a 3.9 at 69 kilometers depth, also off the coast. On the Cocos Plate, I believe, the 3.4 at 55. These are all around 50 to 60 kilometers depth. We've got a 4.3, 4.6 here on the Guerrero coast of Mexico. And that is where they're getting hit pretty hard by some Alberto right now. And 3.4, 2.5s scattered throughout the area. So looks like the big center of the action is these 4s right here, and it kind of ripples outward from there. And then let's not neglect Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rican Trench, because we have a 3.2 out there at 38 kilometers depth, 2.6, 2.3, and 2.2, all around 30 kilometers depth. So that is our earthquake update for today. Let's now take a look at the atmosphere, because that is the big story tonight. Dutch hasn't been live in a while. I think I saw him live on Twitch a couple nights ago. He hasn't been live on YouTube or posted a YouTube update in a minute, but I thought I saw him live on Twitch the other night, and not just like the update stream, but, well, he wasn't actually talking on it. It was just people. He was playing music, and you could tell he was reading people's song requests, because he was like choosing his song request based on what the chat said, but like he wasn't talking for some reason. So I hope he and Duchess are okay out there. Yeah, it's very wild. He's got the 4.9 club. I want to make the 10 kilometers depth club. It's happening 10 kilometers down. I want to know. Okay, so the weather update. We've got the remnants of Alberto. The center of the low is squarely in the middle of Mexico right now, but we are still getting onshore flow and lots of convection off of that. There don't seem to be too many power outages. Usually when I zoom out, that's when we see the power outages. I don't see any reported ones, but maybe, I don't know. It does look like we have flash flood watch and power outages here in Lincoln County, New Mexico. And yeah, like a 7-hour flash flood watch. This is probably in another river canyon south of Ruidoso. We've also got flash flooding possible throughout much of Arizona and right on the Four Corners region itself. And then up towards Santa Fe, New Mexico, near Los Alamos, we got flash flood warning, radar indicated damage threat considerable near Los Alamos, and observed flash flooding near Espanola, New Mexico. That is really bad. They don't need that right now, especially since it should be the dry season. There's also a flash flood radar indicated over here right now. So yeah, it looks like Tropical Storm Alberto has brought lots of moisture and instability and convection to a region that usually doesn't get flash floods this time of year. I mean, the desert, if it rains, it pours. But this is, as you can see, this is like a fire hose of convection. And I think there are some conscious weather observers who sometimes think that means that they're creating weather right at this point. And that's not exactly how it works. How it works is that you need the right conditions to be able to tweak the weather at all. And this tropical storm is feeding us those correct conditions for all this precipitation to occur. Now you see it curving through Texas. You can't really see it on this, but you'll see it on satellite in a second. We take a little swing out at the Four Corners region with a lot of flash flooding possible all throughout this area. Colorado really getting a lot of rain. And then as you go from the edge, this is around where the edge of the Rockies are, where it starts going to plains in eastern Colorado. You really see all these around sunset storms fire off in this like linear system. And you see that like rippling like a ocean wave crashing. That's all moving into this mesoscale discussion area of flash flooding likely. Not just possible, but likely. And we've got how many flash flood warnings issued in this area? Looks like maybe 10. While this isn't necessarily shaped in the line of propagation, this is one big fire hose of moisture and a lot of available potential energy for convection, otherwise known as CAPE. A lot of CAPE, high CAPE values here. CAPE is convective available potential energy. It's the juice for the storms. It's all the energy from the water and temperature of the air that is available to do these atmospheric engine processes. So yeah, we are looking at torrential rain. Honestly, they're getting this is a very spread out storm system in that it's the effect of Alberto is really swinging this Gulf moisture way up into the Rockies and the plains, where they would usually be. I mean, this area usually is looking for a fire hose of moisture from the Pineapple Express, which is the regular westerlies that come from the trade winds, the jet stream level winds that funnel moisture from Hawaii to California. That's called the Pineapple Express. That's usually where this moisture comes from, but we've got an interesting thing here where the moisture is coming from the Gulf and swinging around through in this big line this way, making one big clockwise turn. And you can see that we do have a high pressure system here in the middle. That's kind of like our macro high, because this is going in a clockwise direction, but it's all from a counterclockwise flow centered down here in Mexico. Uh, so let's see how many. Yeah, we've got 13 flash flood warnings going on from everywhere from South Dakota and Nebraska to New Mexico. And I think that's it. There aren't any flash flood warnings in Texas active right now. But let's take a look at some of the imagery we've got from Texas. I have 2 viewers. I hope that everybody is okay out there. My viewers isn't Jenny. I will be concerned, but I bet that she's staying safe and helping her community right now. Here are some awesome pictures, and awesome meaning not good, but awe-inspiring pictures of the floodwaters. Here is a rainbow happening after the tropical storm swept through this area, Jamaica Beach, Texas. There was tons of flooding and onshore storm surge. Lots of people's houses that were on pylons. It was good that they were on pylons. But yeah, I think this image is really powerful with the rainbow. Makes you think of, like the God's promise after the world flooded thing. This is also a striking image. Really, really good stuff from the Houston Chronicle here. I mean, just terrible. Looks like it looks like this is literally floating in the middle of the sea. So this is the scene down on the coast, and this isn't even the area with flood warnings. There's more flooding happening inland in New Mexico and Nebraska and South Dakota right now. In fact, let's take a look at our precipitation. Our 24-hour precipitation observed, according to radar, is showing that we only got like maybe 5, more likely in the 1, 2, 3 range of inches of water falling here. The majority of the flooding in the coastal Texas region is from onshore storm surge and a full moon high tide, which isn't even the highest the tide gets. It's the quarter moon after full moon that has the highest of all the tides. But let's look at that in our 72-hour precipitation analysis. I mean, in 3 days, we've gotten 4 inches to 8 inches of rainfall here on the coast, which is not good, especially paired with the storm surge. But it's not the worst that could have happened. I think Mexico has gotten it a little bit harder, especially in their upper elevations right here. And this is a side of the mountain that is usually on the leeward side of the mountain. And what that means is usually storms come from the other direction. And this side of the mountain would be in a rain shadow. So this is probably a drier biome. This is probably a drier microclimate that taking on 15 inches of rain is going to be a lot for them. I think, unfortunately, there have been 4 deaths reported in Mexico already. Oh no! How long have I been off stream? I'm sorry. Sometimes my internet does that. So I hope it wasn't blank for too long. Sometimes I think the internet cuts out and like recycles, and usually if you were just like browsing the web, you wouldn't notice, but when I'm constantly streaming, the interruption refreshes. I'm streaming from a browser, so it refreshes the browser and I have to redo my settings. There we go. Wow, look at that. Big ol' circulation. I mean, even at the upper levels, it's still got some solid divergence, and that is all sweeping back towards this area of convection in the mainland United States right now. Let's also not forget that we've got this new invest region forming off the coast here. That one we hoped would get swept out to sea, but it doesn't look like it right now. There might be some really high shear as it approaches these upper level winds. No, because these are streaking back around that way. I don't know. This looks like it might have a rapid development as well. It's got that signature. It's got that signature of overnight still convecting, still blowing up. It doesn't look good for Florida or coastal Georgia. Not to get too scary, but yeah, it looks like maybe we've got our next big player in the tropical season already working itself up into a frenzy out here in the Atlantic before Alberto is even off of Mexican soil. But we can see the way that this moisture is definitely streaking way back up into our regular subtropical jet stream. This is injecting a lot of tropical air at the upper levels into our higher elevation, or not higher elevation, higher latitude locations. That is a recipe for some really heavy rainfall, honestly. Not as much the chaotic severe weather as in like tornadoes, but definitely a rainmaker for sure. Speaking of tornadoes, let's see if there were any reported tornadoes in the past day. No? Well, okay. Thursday, we've got 2 in Nebraska around 5:47 today. Then we also had, and it was rain wrapped. Then we also had one here in southeastern Wyoming at 3:45 p.m. and one in California or Colorado near Platteville, a brief land spout. So we did have 3 or 4 tornadoes today. We also had, this was yesterday though. This was yesterday's tornado. Let's see this on null Earth. Gone for so long. I really do need to be monitored more often when I'm in the different windows, clicking around. Let's see. Beautiful. Okay, you can definitely see on the lower levels, this is how we are spinning counterclockwise there, and that's really bringing down the temperatures for Mexico, thankfully. They did need some relief from that heat. That heat that is only surviving here near the Bay of Gulf of California. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. It's something of California because the original invaders thought that this bay went all the way up to the middle of California and that California was an island. Did you know that? Fun facts. And maybe it'll be an island again someday. Let's see. Yeah, we are really pulling down a lot of cold air there. let's see what globally is going on. We got some nice wintertime temperatures setting in Chile and the Chile Argentina border region, getting ready for their winter there as we go throughout the planet, looking pretty mild temperature wise. Thankfully, the most extreme temperatures are there in Mexico, here in the Arabian Peninsula, also looking pretty hot, but India finally cooling down just a little bit too. And that is all thanks to the switch in their winds. Remember that this is I forget which oscillation this is, but there's an oscillation where the winds go north or south, and this is the one that you need to cool off India. So hopefully they are getting their let's see there. Yeah, they are getting some rains there finally. Finally cooling off and raining in India. Thank goodness. They really needed it. A lot of rain up here in Russia today too. That's uncommon amount in 3 hours, as well as coastal West Africa, looking at really high rainfall rates, as well as here in Japan near Tokyo, we are looking at this little microcyclone. I don't think that is named. Actually, let's check out Zoom Earth to see if that's a named cyclone. Yeah, we got so many wildfires. It's so ironic to have a tropical storm on top of a billion wildfires, but yeah. Invest 92L out there doing its job. Alberto doing its job. I think we reached, tropical storm strength at landfall. And then we went back to depression, and we are now back to a remnant low. But over here in Japan, that's not named, but that could very well be a named storm. I think that is a lot. That is some heavy rain. And again, we're getting this back and forth zigzagging of tropical air making its way to the subtropical latitudes. We also have wildfires out here in Siberia. Let's see, as well as the Congo and in Botswana. Also, unfortunately, still wildfires in this what is this state name? I forgot. Something del Sol, but this is an area that's supposed to get a lot of rain, and unfortunately the rain is just like a few hundred miles to the south of where it should be. This is supposed to be a wetland, but it's currently on fire because we are our water is just in the slightly wrong place. So that is what we've got going on there. Let's go now to let's take a look at our Schumann resonances today. All right. Welcome to the stream. I'm so happy y'all are here. I love you very much. All right. There we go. Let's take a look at our Schumann resonances today. Oh, wow. Remarkably quiet. I mean, there have definitely been some discrete vertical power bursts, like right here around 1930, around 14 in UTC time, but pretty quiet on the Schumann resonance bands. Let's see if HeartMath Institute saw some peaking anywhere. Unavailable. What? Try the spectrogram calendar. Unavailable. Come on now. Okay, they look really high still. I would say maybe Tomsk is not getting as much as it usually does, but Yeah, I mean, where we have it available, we've got some pretty high readings. Interesting periodic blips there, but that's probably some sort of background frequency. Let's see if the random network variance went down. No, we're pretty normal there. Okay, so let's check out the magnetosphere. What did we get in the magnetosphere today? Pretty calm. Pretty calm. Looks like we don't have very much of a magnetotail backwashing. Yeah, it looks like it's all going pretty far past. And now the moon would be in the magnetotail right now. Oh, some interesting rippling there. The moon would be in the magnetotail right here, right now. Oh yeah, and very low pressure. So I guess that makes sense of why we're not seeing too much more precipitation of ionic activity. Let's go now to look at our space weather. Okay, a little bit more quiet. We had 20 coronal mass ejections today. Most of our fun coronal mass ejections have been on the far side of the sun recently, so it's not only that they're... Oh, yes, and 3713 is now officially a beta gamma delta type classification. Or 3712. 3713... No, yeah, 13 is the one we'd been waiting on. Remember yesterday I said this one looks like it's starting to rival 12? Well, look who's a big old beta gamma delta type now. That's exciting. This region looks like it's now outperforming the region to its south, which is where we were originally super excited. Solar protons are still pretty low. Let's see our solar flares today. At a M5.76. Oh, that's a decent one. That put us into R2 radio blackout territory, so there was a radio emission there. M5.76, and that was from 3719. Not even one of our big boys. Let's take a look at those sunspot regions. 3712, almost on its way out. Looking complex, but not as juicy as 3713, which is now deepening in color and strength and complexity. And again, yesterday I said I wouldn't be surprised. I would be pleasantly... I would love to see these two groups merge. I would love to see those sunspot regions do a mashup. And 3719 is the one that we just got a M-class flare from. So I think this is our new one to watch. Our new golden boy. Yeah, look at that. Look how nasty those look. I hope that they survive their trip around the sun so we can see them again. We've got some fun new regions rotating into view, though. So we won't be alone too long. Let's see. Beautiful. Oh, look at that filament eruption. Oh, there's the launch. There's another launch. This ropey filament wants to fling out, I can tell. That really wants to unleash itself right there. I feel like if there are any... This will show us that. Oh, look how... Man, there is so much activity going on. I don't even know where to direct your attention. Just take it in. There's a bunch of filaments and coronal tornadoes spinning themselves up, and this one looks like it's winding itself off to fling towards us. I think that's going to be the next big thing. is that this will destabilize and launch something, a coronal mass ejection towards Earth. Let's see. We're only at a KP index of 2-. Our solar wind speed is back down to around 420 kilometers per second. And we're coming out of a disturbance storm time index that's near a storm. And we're very heavily in the north orientation of the magnetic field. So it looks like not a great time for aurora chasers, especially because it's also the full moon. Speaking of the full moon, let's take a look at our planetary weather for today. Where's my... Is that new earthquake anywhere? Nothing exciting. Not missing any good ones. No. Okay. What a weird ad. Okay. So we are looking at our planetary weather for today. Oh, and it is Thor's Day, a Thursday. It is currently a Jupiter day. It's a Jupiter hour when we started the broadcast, and now it's a Mars hour. So let's start by talking about Jupiter. Jupiter is in Gemini at 6 degrees, making separating from its trine to Pluto in Aquarius. I don't see any other aspects other than being in a 1 harmonic with Mars and Taurus, and with Mercury in Cancer. It is the first day of Cancer season. Welcome to Cancer season. It is the sun ingressed into Cancer at 0 degrees. So we're at kind of a weird full moon phase where the moon is like astronomically very full right now, but it won't be the real astrological full moon until the moon passes into the 1st degree of Capricorn. So that's coming soon. But now we have 3 planets in Cancer, are Mercury, Venus, and Sun. And those are making a square, just separating from their square to Neptune, the ruler of like the deep oceans. The deep oceans, depth psychology, all kinds of mysterious wonders and, trappings of illusion like that. That was a title formerly held by Saturn in classical astrology before modern scientists discovered Neptune and Uranus. Uranus we haven't talked about in a while, but it's still hanging out here in Taurus, going strong at 25 degrees of Taurus. We've also got, now the Mercury in Cancer is making a sextile to Mars in Taurus. So that will be probably Mars in Taurus, Mercury in Cancer. We're talking to the women in our lives. We're talking to the people who help us make our homes a home, our roommates, our close female friends. This is going to be something of diplomacy and mutual benefit. Maybe we're going to be able to see some like nurturing and mothering in the community of keeping each other safe and happy and whole and fed. Probably a great time to do some cooking or eating. This is like, if you're usually nervous about cooking, you might be good at cooking randomly right now. Yeah. Oh, we've also got the sun, or the moon is square Saturn right now. So that could feel very tense. Your emotions, you could be trying to get to new heights, new depths emotionally, but you really got to break out of this old shell first. And this is the energy of moon square Saturn is really needing to break out of your energy badly. Like I can feel the crackling. Kind of like if you've ever done a mud mask, like when the mud mask is done and dry, it kind of hurts. That kind of feeling. We're doing that, but emotionally. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm going to go into the card update now. The cosmic weather. And we've got, of course, our favorite little labradorite here. A little raw piece that I got from a stranger downtown one night because they said, guess what rock this is. And I guessed it right, and they said you can have it. Beautiful piece. Sounds so good. I need to cut my nails, but I just love the sound of them on here. I don't want to cut them too short, and I always cut them too short when I cut them. Okay. Let's see what our energy is today, Tarot. Could you please show us what the energy coming in from beyond the planets is? Thank you very much. Judgment in reverse. The Judgment card in reverse. So, I like that this... One thing somebody mentioned about this card one time is it's the only one where you can see people's butts. Do you see it? It's prominently got butts. On the card. So Judgment has angel with the horn of Gabriel in the flag of Michael. This is evoking images of final judgment. It's number 20, and it's got people coming up out of their graves, both watery and terrestrial. So from the depths of the earth and inside of their mortal tombs. At really final judgment, the final judgment day. But in reverse, I'm looking this up because I don't pull this reverse very often. Calls for a period of reflection and self-evaluation. So meditation, quiet contemplation. I think I'm getting from this channeling. You need to channel. We need to channel for ourselves. Like what I experienced at the Lee Harris thing tonight. We are not just waiting for an outside entity to come and awaken us. We're not just waiting for the angel to play. We're not waiting for the second coming. We're not waiting for an outside savior. We are actually putting ourselves as the higher self. Oh yeah. When the people are at the top, when it's reversed, the people are at the top, thinking about getting a message from the higher self, I think is a big part of Judgment in reverse. And letting go of actual judgment of what might come through. That's what often keeps you from hearing messages from your higher self, is you judging it, like with your earth brain. Your earth brain judging too hard to get the message. So I think we probably all need to do some channeling. Opening ourselves up and just automatic writing, automatic drawing, just looking that up. I might find one of the videos he mentioned of how to channel and put it in the comments of this video, because I think that's an important message, is we all can and should do this for ourselves, because nobody knows you better than you, and especially your higher self. Okay, liminal space, what have you got for us today? What is coming in with Judgment in reverse? All right. That's great. That's great. That's a rich. You know what comes up off of what I was just saying? The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. It's comical how similar, like how aligned these are. If you can't see, it's on a platform at a train station. It says 33rd Street. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. What I was literally just saying, which is sometimes the only reason we can't channel is because we're judging ourselves. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. The opposite of knowing your intuition is self-doubt. That's so crazy how it works sometimes. It's so cool. Let's see. Where's the interpretation of this one? I mean, I feel like I know, but let's see. Is it under E for enemy? Yes. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. A cyclical, silent war with self. The game is rigged and there are no winners. You could wait it out for a sense of certainty that may or may not come, or just go ahead and speak your truth, and as nothing pins doubt into place like silence. Fear is a liar. Life is for the living, and you are invited. Read that again. A cyclical, silent war with the self. The game is rigged, and there are no winners. You could wait it out for a sense of certainty that may or may not come, or just go ahead and speak as nothing pins doubt into place like silence. Fear is a liar. Life is for the living, and you are invited. Wow. Very, very clear cards tonight. Beautiful. I love seeing that. That's also, it's Cancer season. That's a very cardinal water sign, the initiator, the mother of all creation, Cancer. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. We got selenite here. Don't worry, I'll check the earthquakes again before we go. Okay, what do we got that goes with the enemy of intuition is self-doubt and judgment in reverse? That's coming in from the universe today. Everything beyond the planetary sphere of what we can see with telescopes, the scientific method as we know it, what's from the outside or the inside, whatever's beyond what we are currently seeing through the sciencey stuff. Anybody want to come out to play with judgment reversed and the enemy of intuition is self-doubt? Might need to pick one. Nobody's jumping out. Maybe I need to use discernment on this. All right. Through the corridor of my joy is the pathway to my desire. Love this one. It's got a couple walking under an umbrella in the rain on a path in a park with some trees or something. Then on the back, I don't know if y'all know, but there are quotes on the back. That's what I read when I read these. Most say, when I get that, I will be joyful. But you must be joyful first. You must start with the determination that I will not settle for less than feeling good. So, you must not settle. You must be joyful first. You must start with the determination that I will not settle for feeling for then feeling good. Be very certain. Be very certain, and how you can be very certain is knowing the body and what feels joyful and what feels good and what feels bad. Now, growth can feel painful sometimes, but that doesn't mean it's not the direction you're supposed to go in. Follow your intuition. And if you're confused about your intuition, follow your joy. And if you're confused about what joy even feels like, find the pathway to less painful thoughts. If you can't even stomach the idea of joy, get something that's just a little bit less miserable and you'll be headed in the right direction. And if you don't know what you desire, you will figure it out by what moves you to joy. Man, that's such a beautiful, great reading tonight. I really feel like maybe I want to do some channeling on this channel sometime, but I think I have to do some channeling about what intentions I need to put behind that first. You are so amazing. Thank you for being here. I love you all so very much. I don't want to go. Let me go ahead and check our earthquakes again. Just because I don't feel like I want to go yet. Not time to go. Okay. Yeah, most recent ones, again, out at the geysers. What's our really recent ones? The most recent ones, like in the past hour or so, are over here. So that is where we are getting our hot spots of the earth right now. Let's also, I have another idea. I didn't do this earlier when I did null earth. I'm going to go back to null earth, show you my favorite view of the earth, which is the stereographic projection. You know why I like this one? You'll see in a second why I like this one. You'll be able to tell why. Can you guess why I like this projection of the earth? And maybe even this way. Maybe this way. Maybe inside out and upside down earth is superior. Or not superior, but just a healthier way of looking at it. The stereographic projection flips the globe inside out, and you're looking at the surface of the earth from the inside of it. I think it's one of the most beautiful. And when you turn it upside down this way, perhaps the way that it was before the last pole shift, you get to see the shapes of the continents a lot more clearly, and how these pyramids taper off of the limbs of, or the flower petals of Antarctica, a place that is in stasis right now. It is slumbering, sleeping. But knowledge used to be delineated from here. It used to trickle down from that direction. Why our oldest we should always remember that the plates are a Earth. Not just the oceans are fluid, but also the land is fluid on a very, very large geological timescale. And these are the very complex wave patterns, wave interference patterns of that medium. The Earth is a wave tank that has got chaotic little surface interferences that make it look, oh, that doesn't look like a sine wave, so it's not a wave. No, actually, these are many waves put together. Many waves put together to create these continents and borders, land masses. All of these waves are, it's fractal all the way up and down. Yeah, can you imagine when you look out at the mountains, can you imagine that the mountains are a rolling, cresting, crashing wave, like you see on the ocean, but it's actually, the land literally is a crashing wave of the ocean of land, the ocean of land. They are waves the same way that ocean waves are waves. They're just over a huge period of time. They move over really, really long time scales. So yeah, that's my favorite projection of the map. Let's see what our particulates are looking like today. Looks like dust extinction from the Sahara is down. So I expect more development from this new region right here, actually. Let's take a look at its cape is getting up there. It's got some nice cape feeding into it. I mean, Alberto does too, but geez Louise, this looks nasty. Let's go to track the tropics and see this 92L. Okay, so our spaghetti tracks for this, our spaghetti models for this Invest 92L has it coming ashore in coastal Georgia. Have it going way into shore. Doesn't look like it'll get to tropical storm strength, but to me, this doesn't look like it's weakening. Well, kind of does. The intensity goes down after dark, but this is, it's kind of like got this 2-eye situation. 2 centers of circulation that are circulating around each other. Oh, can you see the yin yang in this? Do you see the yin yang? You see the 2 circulations in there? They're both going counterclockwise, and the whole thing is going counterclockwise. But you can see their little, like, pause it at the right. Can you pause? Can you pause? No? You don't want to fucking do what I'm saying? Anyway, you can see the S shape. You can see the yin yang inside of this. That is beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, fantastic. I wonder what the sea surface temperatures are like there. Oh, and we've got a new invest region in the heels of Alberto right here. Dang. It's heating up. Tropical season is here, baby. Let's see. Let's go back to all current storms. Oh, it's not going to show me that. Yeah, but this was the remnants of Alberto. Let's check out our satellite imagery RGB. If there's area, and the center of Alberta is already pretty much off the coast. I bet that's not where the pressure center is, but the convective center is off the coast. Let's check out this new invest area. It does look to be blooming. It looks like almost a lotus. Let's see the entire area though, in RGB. Yeah, something else is spinning up in the Yucatan Peninsula for sure here. There's a lot of available energy there. And finally, there's not too much dust extinguishing. So it's like the lid on the pot has been lifted. And yeah, it is still coming down up there in the plains. It is still raining really hard in both the plains and the Rockies. It's also raining super hard in spotted areas of Texas, but really it's New Mexico and South Dakota that are getting, and Nebraska that are getting hit hard, really, really hard right now. They've got observed flash floods all the way from from Chamberlain to Sioux Falls. We got a lot of South Dakota flooding right now from this. This is all spray up from the outflow region of Alberta. Do you see that? How it's not even exactly connected in the storm, but this is funneling the moisture up there. And it looks like this wants to spin up another Alberto type low. I mean, if we're not seeing development from the Atlantic, we're going to see the Gulf of Mexico boil itself off because the amount of energy in these high sea surface temperatures is just unsustainable. Let's see what are... I mean, this is so low that 850, when there's nothing here, that means that 850 millibars is below elevation, below ground. Let's look at our upper dynamics to see. Where we're expecting this. Looks like we should get some zonal flow back in here soon. There's our new invest that wants to come ashore. This slight trough is sweeping this vorticity out. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, look at that. Just terrible, terrible storms. There's a lot that wants to heat up in the equator, but it really should be about 10 degrees north in latitude. This should all be shifted up like 10 whole degrees, I think. Then it would look normal. But the ITCZ is just very close to the equator right now. Usually what's happening at 10 degrees north would be happening around 20 degrees north. I also have a little low forming out here, but not headed towards the US, probably headed off towards Europe. It's a really interesting one right here. I am eager to see what happens here, but I hope it's nothing bad. I hope it doesn't get worse, but it probably will. Looks like, I don't know, probably headed for Orlando, anywhere between Charleston, Hilton Head, Savannah, and Orlando is where this might come ashore. And we'll probably have some high tides with it too. Oh, I forgot to go to the tides thing today. Oh, let's check our wildfires. I got so many thoughts. Am I still on the screen? Yes. Okay. I'm sad that we haven't seen Jenny tonight. I really hope she's okay. Man, got a lot of wildfires. Even new wildfires popping up every day. So even in the areas that are actively getting rain, there are new wildfires popping up. Like today. Wow. Really unfortunate. Hopefully some of the rain helps. I mean, I know it's really bad to get flooding on top of a burn scar, but I can only hope that some of this rain does, or at least some of this humid air helps lessen the fire risk conditions. Let's see. What else did I want to see? Oh, I wanted to see the tides. Where did I? Maybe I didn't bookmark that. I wanted to see a live storm surge map, and I had one up yesterday, and I forgot where I put it. Is this going to be the... No, that's not the interactive one. Oh, you know what? I got it from this website. Let me see. Didn't I? No. Maybe. I don't know. I lost my storm surge website. I forgot where it is. But anyway, it's bad. Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to get to wrapping this up. Was kind of holding out hope that Jenny would still show up and be like, I'm okay. But, you know, we can only pray that she is out there keeping other people safe and trying to stay safe herself. So, all right. That's it for tonight. I love you very much. Thank you for coming to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. And I will see y'all tomorrow evening. Have a great Friday. Happy summer solstice tomorrow. Spend the longest day of the year doing something you love. All right. Bye.